Right now, you're looking at your LinkedIn profile and thinking, it could be a lot better. But where do you start? Well, you start right here. Let's jump into it. Now, there are 6 major tips that I want to cover in how to make your profile even better and achieve that coveted all-star status. But before we dive into those tips, we have to talk about what is the actual goal? What are we trying to accomplish with our LinkedIn profile? And if you're watching this video, that means your goal is to get noticed and to get hired. So let's make that happen. LinkedIn is an excellent way for you to show your personality and your skill and your brand online, and it separates you from the sea of other candidates. And hopefully that means you can get to that interview. Once you get to the interview, the rest is up to you. But getting to that point really does rely on the content and the brand that you've put out into the world through platforms like LinkedIn. Okay, so let's dive right into it. I know having all-star status on your profile sounds super fun, but before we get into the actual profile updates, the most important thing is to think to yourself, what does a hiring manager see when they first see your profile? And before they can even dive into the full details, they see your name, your profile picture, and your headline. So let's start right there. Obviously, your name should be your full name, so we won't spend much time on that, but let's talk about your profile picture. So your profile picture needs to convey a few things. You want it to be professional, you want to be likable, and you want to be competent. Those 3 things work together to help a hiring manager be confident in recommending you for an interview. A professional headshot is usually taken either straight on or kind of from the side. You've seen some of those, but you want to make sure that it's professional. You can see your face clearly and you're professionally dressed. Those are a few key points that make your profile picture stand out. Even if your workplace does not have a specific and professional dress code, you want to make sure to convey that type of professionalism in your profile picture to get that interview and to get in the door. So I know a lot of social medias are different in this regard. Instagram and Facebook show different elements of your personality, but LinkedIn should definitely be the place where you show your most professional element. Another pro tip is to add the open to work banner that LinkedIn provides. Not everyone has the same opinion on this, but I personally believe when I'm doing searches for new engineers, it's really helpful to know who to reach out to, who you can reach out to, and who's actively looking for new roles. Okay, your headline is next. Try this simple formula to make your headline quick, easy, and super useful for hiring managers. The first thing you want to do is add the role you're looking to go for. In this case, you would say software engineer or something similar to that if you want to add specificity. I would not add junior in this. I know even if it's your first job, adding junior does not convey a lot of confidence or really show what you're trying to go for. You want to be a software engineer, put that right in your first part of your headline. The second thing to add, and you can add some sort of spacer however you want to, I personally like the 2 slashes, I think it looks good, but you want to start to add some of the skills that you have or the ones that you specifically want people to see. I would choose your top 2 or 3 skills that you have the most expertise in and those that you want to work with in an actual role. For the sake of this example, we'll say React, Python, and APIs. The reason I do that is because you kind of got a front end side, a back end side, and the integration side, which is the APIs. I personally enjoy full stack, but depending on what you're looking for, those should be the 3 different skills that you add to your headline. Okay, the last thing is a little bit trickier, but you want a quick tagline that conveys something that you want to accomplish in your career, something you want to see in a new role, but whatever that is, make it something that's personal to you and something that you enjoy. For the sake of this example, we'll use the one that I have in my headline, which is, I turn great ideas into even better software. I like that because I like working with founders to decide on their ideas and how to turn them into actual software, but this is going to be something specific to you and something that really resonates with what you want to do. A huge pro tip that I'm going to talk about more at the end of the video is how to get your profile out there and get people to see it. One of them is commenting and engaging on posts. I would say choose your top 10 creators that you really enjoy and really resonate with the things that they post. Hopefully it's people that are posting consistently at least a few times a week, but follow those creators. Make sure you have notifications on for every time they post, and when they do, try to be the first or in the first couple to leave a thoughtful comment. Make sure it's a thoughtful comment and not just something random. But when you do, other people will see that you're interacting with that content, especially the wider net that those creators have. They have a lot more reach, so if you can grab onto that, it can be incredibly beneficial for getting your name out there and in front of people's eyes. Okay, so the hiring manager has seen your profile picture, they saw your name and your fantastic headline, and now they clicked on your profile to see more. They want to see if they really want to recommend you to get an interview for the job. The next step is to make your profile as fantastic as you possibly can. We talked about all-star status, and this is the part of the video where we get there. I'm going to divide this part of the video into 4 main areas and the 4 things that I think are the most important on your profile and the things that people see the most. And those are your about section, featured content, your skills, and obviously your experience. Let's jump right into it with the About section. The About section is the perfect place for you to dive a little bit deeper into the headline that you added. You don't want to make it too long, but I usually divide it into 3 major categories. If you're looking for a job, you want to start with what you do well and how long you've been doing it. If you just started or you just took a coding bootcamp, obviously the how long you've been doing it is not going to be incredibly long. I would not be disingenuous here, and I would be straight up the fact that you're either changing careers or you're trying to get into technology, and this is something you're interested in. Make sure you talk about what you do well. Say things like, I'm super focused focused on front-end development, or I really enjoy integration layer work, or I really enjoy computer networking or computer security. All those things are different skill sets, and if you're really passionate about something, this is the place where you can tell a hiring manager that you are passionate. This is also a really good place to add keywords. If you already have job descriptions or job roles that you're specifically looking for, this is the place where you want to put the keywords into your about section so people can see them quickly. The second part you want to talk about in your about section is why any of this matters to the company. Anything that you've done, whether that's from your bootcamp, from your college experience, or if you have any experience post graduation, that's where you want to add and say, this is where I make an impact. This is where I have made an impact in the past. And the last thing is a bonus, and it's what you're striving for. If you want to talk about what you really want to do, if you really want to work more in open source, if you really want to work more in computer security, computer networking, as I mentioned before, whatever you want to do next, that's the perfect place for this. You can also add a call to action at the end of your about section, like connect with me to chat more, or here's my email address if you want to connect with me for open roles. Anything like that you can add to the end of your about section. I personally have not seen much engagement come from the end of the about section, so use it if you'd like to, but it's not something that's absolutely required. Okay, let's dive into the featured section. Because of the way LinkedIn is laid out, this is one of the most important sections you can have on your profile, and it really highlights the things that you are doing to contribute to the LinkedIn platform. Even if you don't have a ton of experience in your desired field, the experience section is much lower in your profile, so it's a lot more likely for a hiring manager to see what's in your featured section. So this is a great opportunity for those people with less experience to still showcase the things that they've done. From my experience, 3 is the magic number here. You want to add 3 things to your featured section, which gives you enough variation in content, but it also gives enough space to be able to see the photos, see the little sentence write-ups about each featured item. So we talked about the skills that you have, and we added 3 of those to your headline. I would try and match these up to the different projects that you create. So in the example we use, we have React.js, maybe a front-end React project that you can add. If we added Python, you could do a back-end or maybe a script that you created you're really passionate about. And the last one would be APIs. If you want to talk about an article you wrote or a post even that you've written across all of these 3, you can add those to your featured section. And you want to try and use ones that either got good engagement or really showcase your skills. Okay, talking about skills, now it's time to get to the skills section of your profile. If this is not already filled out, this is something that's super easy to do and something that you can do today. So in the skills section, there are only 3 that are going to show up as featured skills, but I would recommend adding at least 5 and ideally 10 that really showcase what you are and who you are as a developer. They don't all have to be skills that you've learned as computing programming languages. It can be something like leadership or teamwork. Those are great to have as well. They probably don't necessarily need to be your featured items, but having them in there is definitely not a negative. So you really want to highlight the things that you're actually good at, not just the things that you have minor experience with. So try to highlight the things that you've actually spent time on, actually built projects in, and that way when people look at those skills or you show up in a search result because of those skills, you'll be able to quickly and easily talk to those things with a screening call with the hiring manager or anything moving down the line. Okay, once you've added your skills, you want to make sure to get endorsements for those skills. This is incredibly important. You can put anything you want in the skills section, but until you get an endorsement, people don't necessarily trust it as much. So reach out to family and friends and colleagues and have them endorse you for your skills on LinkedIn. Just say, I'm really trying to build my LinkedIn presence. I'm really trying to get a job. It would really mean a lot to me if you would endorse me for X, Y, and Z, specifically the ones you want to put in your featured section, because that's what counts the most. That's what people will see. And especially for search, if we are trying to get to a LinkedIn powerhouse profile that gets found in search, you want to make sure that the skills that you're adding also line up with the job descriptions you're looking for, and that you're endorsed for those specific skills. Okay, we made it to the experience section. This is one that I think I really enjoy, especially as you go later into your career. It's a lot more fun to start seeing this build up and really see your online resume start to get bigger and better, and I think it's really fun. But that is something that happens over time, so it needs to be aware that it's something that's going to build over years and years of experience and work, not necessarily right now as we're building our profile. However, there is some experience that you have that you should definitely draw on. Anything that you have from a bootcamp or from a college experience, anything you've done on the side, personal projects, all of those can be relevant to the experience section. The best way to add rich content to this section is to add media elements. And this is something that I don't see a lot of people use, and I definitely try to make sure everyone that I talk to adds these into their profile. It makes the section look longer and so much better, even if it's just the home page of a company you worked with. Anything in there is going to make that section look so much better, and you can talk about the things that you've done in different projects and skill sets. As an example, if you're adding your bootcamp experience, maybe you worked up to be a TA at your bootcamp and you were able to do certain projects with the teams. This is the place where you showcase those projects, talk about what you did, and it adds a cool little additional element to that experience section, makes it look longer, makes it look more built out, and that you really put time and care into making it look good. Okay, so now your LinkedIn profile is fantastic. It's all ready to go. You're ready to get out there and get that job. The next thing is consistency on the platform. You definitely want to go back to the tips on the Be Noticed section, especially let's talk more about how to get noticed after your profile is already ready to go. Once again, the more you engage with others, the more you comment, especially on larger accounts, the more you engage with conversations and really talk to those people, the more beneficial it will be as you grow your LinkedIn presence. Another huge thing for LinkedIn is consistently posting, especially if you're new to this game, you're new to LinkedIn, or you're new to programming in general. It's important to start consistently posting and sharing your thoughts. You may not have an expertise to share, but you do have a journey that people are interested in. There are so many people on LinkedIn that are doing the 100 days of code, 365 days of code, and I see fantastic engagement from lots of other people who are also along that same journey that are supporting each other. You can find friendships, and those lasting connections can make a big difference. You might find that your next role after this one comes from someone that you met as you were both trying to learn to code and build your LinkedIn presence. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that was short and sweet and incredibly valuable. If you have any questions or want any more tips on LinkedIn, let me know in the comment section below and I will respond to every single one of those comments. I'm so excited to see what you guys can accomplish on LinkedIn, and I'll see you in the next one.